Okay, now that we have created our very basic HTML page with tags that open and close with text, there are some more elements that I want to show you that make the use of something called attributes and values, and you will be using that this week in your activity where you're going to learn about attributes and values. Now, what attributes do is they further describe a certain tag. So if the body tag was listed but you wanted to make it a background color of green, you could add the BG color attribute, which goes again inside the body tag, and it will give a value of a color. Now, the reason I want to talk about attributes and values mainly is because when we talk about adding images to our files, now we require the use of an attribute called SRC, which stands for source, and is trying to find the source of the file that we are accessing to provide the image. So the image tag is IMG. Now, the other unique thing about the image tag is that it both opens and closes all in one shot. You'll notice in other examples where I have an H1 opening here, I've got my text, and then I have my H1 closing here. Other examples have the, link tags closing and things like that. Now, image tags do not close with a /img. It just has the image tag opening once. That's a unique thing of a few tags within HTML, but images are unique in that way. So we're going to go ahead and add an image within our code here, and if you go back to your page, I can go ahead and, let's say just under my H1 I wanted to add an image tag. Well, I would just type in img, and I'll go ahead and close it right away just because that in itself is the image tag. It doesn't close with the /img. It just is literally img with the brackets opening and closing here. Now, it does require the use of a source, which is src equals quote, and I'm just going to leave the quotes blank. Now, the value is going to always be in quotes, and it's going to always come after the attribute. So the attribute is listed here, and the value will be input inside of these quotes. Now, I need to figure out where this file is coming from. A few different options you have. One is if you have a direct link to a file that's already out there on the web, you could paste in a direct link to that self-hosted file and paste it right in there, and it should show up for you. What I'd like for you to do, though, is to upload your own image. Now, over here in our file hierarchy, I can right-click and press upload. It's going to allow me to upload any images I want to. I will choose my dog picture, and it will now upload, and you can see that it has uploaded to my file system here. Now, because it's all in the same folder or the same area, all I'll have to do is type in the name of my file, and it should work within my page. Now, I have to go back up to my index page, which is the home page for my site, where this is where all my code was, and I'm going to go back down to my image code here on line 12, and I'm going to actually type in that file name, tyson-dog.jpg. You need to add the extension as well. Now, if you click over here on the right, it should auto refresh. If you don't see that happen, you can press the refresh button, and there he is. So it's got the image tag, and then it's got, again, an attribute and value. I can add some other attributes and values about this image. I'll just add a couple right now. One is going to be a width, width, and it's going to be the value of, let's say, 50%. What that's going to do is it will take this image, it will find its source, and then it will take the width of the entire window and make it only 50% of whatever it's in. So again, I'm going to click over here or press refresh, and now you can see the image is only 50%. You could do 25%, 30%, whatever percentage of a width that you want. The good thing about doing a percentage is when the window opens and closes, you'll see the photo also responds to the width of the browser. You can also pick a static width of, let's say, 500. What that will do is it will make it 500 pixels wide, and what that does is no matter how big or small the window gets, the picture never changes size. You'll see the picture is staying 500 pixels wide no matter what. Now, we don't do a height. I'm going to leave this at 50% because I like how it responds to the width of the browser. You do not need to put a height, because if you did put a height, then it would force it to be 50% width, and it would force it to also be a certain height, and it will warp your image. So this automatically constrains the proportions to where all you need to do is put a width. So go ahead and put some kind of a width within your image. And then another attribute and value that I'm going to add is one called alignment. I'm going to align this, align equals left. What that does is it both aligns the photo to the left, but it also, you'll see, wraps text around it. You'll see the text will pop up next to it. I could also align this right, and what that will do is it'll align my photo to the right and my text will be on the left, but again, it will wrap around the image itself. Okay, so again, that's getting practice using not just a basic tag, but adding attributes and values within the tag itself. You'll notice I have 3 attributes, and each of those attributes has its own value. So 3 values, 3 attributes.